Hi everybody, welcome back to the farm. Today we decided to sit down with you here inside and talk a little bit about how our first year has been here on the farm. As of this month, September 2022, we just celebrated 1 year being farm owners.
I can't believe that this day is here. It's just so crazy to imagine that we are doing the year later video.
Yeah, I mean, a lot has happened. When friends come over, or even people in the community, or folks who are stopping by, everybody seems to think that we've been here a lot longer than we have been. But we are quick to remind them that we've only been here for a short
Yes,
amount of
indeed.
time.
Yes, indeed.
Especially with the amount of things that we would love to do in the future that we'll spend some time talking about today. But we also wanted to just take an opportunity to say thank you, first of all, to everybody who has been so supportive of us on our journey, from our time when Gardening Gays was born in our townhome in Upper Marlboro, Maryland, to us coming across the Potomac River and settling down and putting in roots here in King George, Virginia.
And becoming a gardening gays farm.
Yeah, and adding the farm to the name.
Farm to the name. Yes, that's been quite a journey, and here we are a year later, and let's talk about what happened in the last 12 months.
Yeah. So we have some notes here, so that we're gonna kind of refer to. Just we wanted to make sure that we hit some of the major highlights, and then kind of wrap things up, talking about some of our lessons learned, some of our wins and
losses.
Yeah.
Highs and lows, wins and losses. Yeah.
And what we have planned for the future. What's on our vision board.
So let's get into it.
First up, settling on this property. We actually hit our settlement date, which was August 27 of 2021. So that was a big and exciting, monumental thing for us. And we talked in our very first video about what led us here to King George and that journey to actually settling here on this property.
We can put that video down and below as well, but that was just huge for us. I mean, everything kind of worked out perfectly for us. Mortgage interest rates dropped down below 2, and that kind of opened up a window to acquire this property at the time, and it was huge way off of our shoulders once we settled on this, and we were able to keep our townhome actually that we still have up in Upper Marlboro, and that is our investment property now, which will be for our retirement pretty much.
Yeah.
So next, how did September go? What do we do?
So September was when we actually moved down to the farmhouse, and the very first thing we did was get our first batch of chicks. We got 30
We
egg
did
layers.
have to paint the house and all.
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, get the house into somewhat. I mean, house was definitely livable, but we wanted to put our touch into it. So we spent a week.
At least.
At least a week, if not longer, maybe even 10 days of just, definitely 10 days, because we moved down here on 12th, right? Yeah, 12th of September we moved down here, and we were still painting. So we spent a good 10 days to 2 weeks of just getting house in order, but we waited no time to buy our first chicks.
Yeah, first chicks we got pretty quickly, and got our brooder built. Dragon was able to find a box here in our barn. As those of you who've been following along, you see kind of all of that reclaimed wood that we've used to build a lot of projects here over the past year. And there was a box that we were able to retrofit to make it into our brooder. And pretty much most of our chickens start their life inside that brooder, whether we are buying them elsewhere and bringing them home, or whether we are hatching them here, eggs from our own flock. Once they're up and ready to go, a lot of times they start off in that
first
garage
couple
brooder.
of weeks, yeah, definitely. First couple of weeks they start in that brooder, unless we have a really large batch. So then we have brooder that we build later on. Next month, October, was busy month.
Yeah, we started focusing a little bit more on building out our infrastructure and things that we need. Housing for animals was a big thing. to start getting up and running, particularly as those chicks are now starting to grow. They couldn't be in that small brooder forever. So we started working on building the chicken tractor. We started working on retrofitting our coop. There's a shed that we turned into the coop. And our friend Cheryl came down and spent a few days here helping Dragon out do that. And we sectioned it off so that one side is for the ducks to sleep and the other side is for the chickens. With our roosting bars, our nesting boxes are in there too. And ultimately, that's where the larger brooder was built as part of that coop.
Right on. Yeah, absolutely.
Planting we did also too in October. Some of our first big planting projects. We did the hydrangeas.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
The cuttings that we had taken from some of our hydrangea plants at our townhome. Hydrangea is one of Dragon's favorite plants, and we had some gorgeous hydrangeas back in Maryland that we took cuttings from. Yeah, we still have them there. That we took cuttings from and propagated, and they did surprisingly well for the propagation period. And that was our first major planting project here at the farm.
Yeah. So as the season went on in November, we added ducks. We got Charlotte ducklings. We added 15, 16 ducklings. What was it?
I think there were 16 that 16. We got. Yeah.
And then we also started working on our front flower bed that faces our driveway and wraps around kind of house, front side of the house. Holiday season came in. Your parents came in.
Yeah, my parents came. Our first Thanksgiving here. My mom and dad came up. They spent 2 weeks with us. They came up the week before Thanksgiving, and spent that week. And then the week of Thanksgiving, my brother and my nephew and my sister also came up, and we were able to enjoy our first big holiday here with them.
Yeah, host a Thanksgiving dinner here. So it was all lunch, which was really nice.
Yeah,
in just 2 months to have.
And even though the weather we thought was perfect, my mom, who gets cold easily, thought otherwise. So there's this amazing photo of her sitting outside, and she's just completely wrapped up like
blankets,
it's yeah.
So you would think that it's
that we're in the tundra.
-20 and then it's actually 60 degrees outside in November, which is quite nice for our area here.
Yeah.
December, what was December?
Oh, before December we also got our geese.
Oh,
our geese in
right,
November.
Yes. So in November we got our geese flock. We knew we wanted a guardian goose for our chicken flock, so we were able. Some lady was thinning her flock of geese, and we were able to get 4 Toulouse goose, which we joined our flock. So,
and they were nice while we had them, especially the largest gander of the crew. We ended up with 3 males and 1 female, and we whittled that flock down to just the pair, hoping to have a mating pair. But as the season went on, we started realizing we were not getting eggs from one of our females, either one of the ducks or from the goose. And separating them out every night, we were able to isolate that it was her. And here on the farm, everybody has a job to do, and if you aren't doing your job, then you got to go elsewhere.
Indeed. Christmas, how was December? So in December, we finally were able to get a farm truck. That was a huge help, because it was we had Kia Optima. Yes, I almost forgot about our Kia Optima. Hauling the animal feed in that poor Kia was quite a challenge, and I mean just getting any major things that we need for the farm, we were just not able to do it with that poor Kia, and we were able to sell the Kia and buy the truck, so that was a huge help.
Yeah, the truck was definitely huge. I mean, my dad is constantly pushing for us to get a trailer, but if only you saw how much stuff we moved in that Kia. And then also I had a Sonata that died right as we were moving. The transmission went out on that. But between those 2 cars, we were hauling everything that we needed to out here to the farm. But having a truck definitely has been a game changer for us, and unlimited a lot of the things that we would not have been able to do or to acquire simply by having the ability to haul it ourselves.
Just moving stuff around the farm, even here, just hauling big logs or whatever we need to haul. It's been huge help
Yeah.
at the farm. In December, we also started building raised beds that are still out here. We built three of them, three raised beds out of salvaged wood that we have in the barn. Beds are 4 feet wide by 24 feet long, so we have a nice growing space there.
Yeah. Whether we keep them or not,
We're
not sure.
We'll see. But we're fighting some vigorous weeds in that bed. We can talk about that later. Vigorous weeds in the bed, and now we have them completely sealed in the plastic, hoping throughout the summer we had them sealed in the plastic, hoping that summer heat was going to kill off those weeds inside. So we'll see. We'll might open one in a month or so to see how that has worked out, or are we going to wait till next spring and see how everything worked out in those beds. So.
Yeah. The great thing about having them is it gives us the ability to get some things started earlier, maybe get some garlic also to plant it in those this fall, and do some test planting in those because they are a little bit easier to get to, and give the big garden space a rest.
Some kind of coop so we can have a little protected area for some of the cold season crops, some lettuces and stuff. So
Yep.
We'll see. Then New Year's rolled around.
And it was cold. We had our first major snowstorm.
It was the only snowstorm, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the only snow of the summer.
Yeah, and that storm hit on January 6th, I believe.
Something like that.
Yeah. So the storm came through. Actually, the storm came through. I have my notes here on the 3rd. We finished our raised beds on January 2nd. And the weather was like, we're outside in shorts, and I might not have been in shorts, but I know we had just short sleeve shirts on.
Yes, definitely.
And the very next day, like overnight, that storm just hit.
Yeah, we had, I think, between 12 to 15 inches of snow in like 12 hours. So it was a lot of trees on the property kind of fell dead, and we lost a huge pine tree in our backyard, side yard, I guess. And our front yard and then our driveway, our pine trees got some damage, a lot of fallen branches, and throughout our property's fence line there was quite a few, and still there are some fallen trees on our fence line that we were not able to clear them out yet. So
yeah, but at least the lucky part for us, and I think our location has a lot to do with it, is that we didn't lose power during that storm when a majority probably of people here in our county lost power, and they were without power for quite a long time.
couple weeks, definitely.
And being able to have a working fireplace during that time was also a huge godsend for us.
Huge help.
Yeah.
We also got our first egg in January.
First egg in January in the nesting box. First birth at the farm happened too.
True, yes.
The bunnies were born on January 6th. That's what, that's why January 6th also too stuck out, because that was when we had our first birth here, and that first litter of bunnies.
That morning there was no snow, and the snow was overnight. Yeah, so yeah, good. January was good. Busy month for middle of the winter. So.
Yeah. And February rolled around, and we kind of got back to work again as our flock is growing. We have now all these rabbits, and where are you going to put them when it's time for them to be weaned off from their mom? So we started working on our first rabbit tractor in February. And the brooder also inside the coop got built at that point too, as we are now starting to really find our rhythm with things, and thinking ahead toward spring and summer and fall and what's coming up in the next few months, making sure that we have the animals on hand to be able to produce all the things that we'll need later on to have a fully working farm.
And trying to just using those cold, slower months just to stay ahead, so we are not playing a catch up during the busy planting season. So
yeah, it's not. I mean, it's nice that you get a chance to pull back from a lot of the heavy outdoor in the heat type of stuff during the winter, but the work definitely never stops. It never stops. You just kind of shift towards doing other things that still matter and are just as important for developing your business and your farm as we move on.
Towards end of February, kind of started already planting some stuff in the seed trays with our grow light setup, and we also started work on our rose garden in the back of the house too. So that was the only thing that we did with that rose garden. Kind of we planted it, and we haven't done much with it. So
Yeah, but it's still on the list,
it's still on the list.
to finish out. There's always something on the list. Rolling into March, Dragon's birth month.
Got a German Shepherd for my birthday present.
A beautiful Bella came home to us the beginning of March, and so she's been a fantastic addition here to the farm. She will be our guard dog. She is 10 months old now, and she's learning more every day, month by month. She's one of our famous greeters here at the farm between Bella and Trinity. Everybody who comes to the farm stand asks about her, and she's definitely loved, by us and also by everybody here in King George.
Absolutely, yeah. What else did we do in March?
March was also a big month, so we also, in addition to Bella, we got the cats.
Oh,
We got the
that's
cats
right.
toward the end of March, so added some more fur babies to our pack in the month of
Outdoor
March.
cats,
Yeah,
yeah.
the barn cats, Chloe, Kim, and Rob Kardashian.
They are not Kardashians. Just accidental names, man.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with the Kardashians. We also finished up our greenhouse. A neighbor donated a top frame of a small greenhouse that is, I believe, 8x6 or 8x10, something like that. And we were able to build a bottom frame and raise it up so that we have a walk-in greenhouse that helped us out a lot. And then we were also able to get some almost free mulch from close by construction sites. So that was nice too.
Yeah, the mulch has been. It's amazing getting that mulch and the amount of mulch that we got, because we got 2 semi-truck loads dumped here at the farm. But before that came, we would go around town and see like little piles that we think, oh, we can just fill up the back of our truck. And then we get these 2 giant semis to come and push all this mulch, and we're like, it makes you kind of feel a little silly thinking about how you limit yourself sometimes to what you think that you need, and then the universe kind of brings you something even bigger and grander than you ever imagined that you could actually have.
We also got some compost. What else did we do? Oh, we started incubating our own eggs. That was first batch. About I want to say beginning of they hatched
Towards the end of March.
towards the end of March. Yeah, like March 23rd, we hatched about 35 baby chicks from our own eggs. So that was kind of super exciting. That was Kevin's first time hatching.
Yeah, my first time hatching eggs. And now that crew is part of our flock that's just starting to lay.
now,
Yeah, they're starting to lay eggs now.
So, what else did we do, Kevin?
So in turkeys, we got turkeys also too. In March, those the royal palms that we got.
Royal palms, yeah,
5 royal palms that we got.
from neighboring farm. Yeah.
Yeah. How many do we have now?
Kevin will tell you why.
Because sometimes things come and stay, and sometimes things come and go. I mean, they didn't. It's not like they flew away. It's just that their purpose had not been fully realized at this point, and we just needed to put those resources into
Elsewhere,
other things. Our potato seeds arrived also too in March that we got, and we were excited to get those. Our first time planting potatoes on that large of a scale. We planted some potatoes back at our townhome.
Plant them to April, though.
No, we didn't plant them, and
Yeah,
we didn't plant
got
them
it.
until April. But they arrived, so we were excited about that. Especially around this time, food prices also to continue to start ticking up. So it was nice to know that we had something in place to sustain ourselves and to be able to cross something else off our grocery bill.
We also started, I believe, tilling, didn't we? We started plans for our market garden and started sectioning off what area we're gonna do. And I believe we started some of the tilling.
Yeah, we started. Yeah, tilling started in March. Yeah,
tilling some of the future market garden areas. So that was a huge for us. Kind of things are slowly taking off here. Where once we broke the ground for the market garden, kind of things really got rolling then.
yeah. And kind of as April rolled along, everything is really starting to kind of progress. Our seedling trays are doing well. The nesting boxes are starting to be full on a regular basis of hens laying. We also got our Emden geese, our white geese that we had. We still have one of them now. We've kept one of those, and that is now our guardian goose of our flock. We had more babies from our from our rabbits in April. Two of our rabbits had babies in April. Our gray doe had a litter of kits, and our red doe also had a litter of kits in April.
And then we started planting some potatoes. We had potatoes in, onions were in. What else did we get in?
We did
Raised beds were completely planted out.
Tomatoes and peppers.
That was at the
End
of
of-
the month. I
end
think
of-
that was
end of April.
Yeah, last day of April. Yeah. Our average we're in a zone of 7A here in Northern Virginia. Our average last frost day is typically between April 15th and April 20th, and people usually still like to wait 2 more weeks. So the safest bet is your Mother's Day. We kind of gambled a little bit and planted everything last day of April, but it worked out pretty good. So we didn't have any cold snaps or anything after that. So
Yeah.
then May came around.
And the first big thing in May was our very first batch of meat chicks arrived.
Yeah.
We had 30. We ordered 30 that first time around in the spring.
35, we received 30.
We received 35 we received, and so that was our first venture into meat chicks. We also started continuing doing some planting and beautifying some of the flower beds around the houses. Things were moving forward, and the weather started to change. So getting some cannas planted into the ground was one thing that we did. We got our first sign, Farm Fresh Eggs, our first hand drawn sign that Dragon did put out on the side of the road. I just to kind of let people know where we were and starting to dip our toe into the realization of being fully operational for why we came.
So yeah, it was nice getting. We posted in the community group that we had some eggs available, and I think that first we had probably 7, 8, maybe 10 dozen eggs, and they sold out within 24 hours. It was kind of really nice to see that the community is going to respond pretty good with what we have, and the support was there. So it was really encouraging, starting to see, even though it's a minimal income, but just to seeing some kind of income starting to flow in from the farm. So,
but kind of that whole lead up to having sellable eggs instead of those little tiny eggs. Like we had so many small eggs for such a long time, and we were giving them away to so many different people. We were taking some down to donate to the fire department. We just had so many eggs. We didn't want them to go to waste, and we didn't know still at that point who to reach out to locally in the community to say, hey, we have a surplus of something that is from the farm, and we want to be able to share that with the community. Yeah, so we were still in the early days of learning all that stuff out.
May was also a busy month with planting garden and flower patch. We planted entire flower patch that month. with dahlias, zinnias, everything that all the flowers were sunflowers, and entire garden, everything was planted. But by end of May, everything was planted and everything was in the ground. So
And another huge milestone, well, I don't know if it's a milestone, but I guess record in May was our black doe had 17 babies. She holds the record for the most births at once so far here at the farm.
yeah, that was huge. Then Kevin had a work trip to.
Yeah, then I went to Singapore toward the end of May. Was only supposed to be gone for 7 days, and I contracted COVID while I was there, and ended up having to extend my trip in isolation, and didn't get back until the end of the month.
Oh, your parents were here at the time.
Yeah, my parents arrived
Yeah.
the middle of May, so they were here with Dragon holding down the fort while I was away for work, and then stuck away out of the country for a while.
Yeah, his dad was huge help just getting everything in the ground. Would have been hard doing everything solo, so it was a huge help just getting everything going.
Yeah. He promised to not work as hard as he did when
He
he
worked
was
harder.
here and for Thanksgiving, and he worked way harder. So, but I'm sure he knows how much we appreciate everything that he was able to help with while he was here. So along comes my birth month, June, and wouldn't you know it, we're doing more planting. Our nephew also came up from Florida, and he was here for about a month. So he came while my parents were still here, and then my parents left to go back to Florida, and my nephew stayed on, and hopefully learned some valuable lessons while he was here on the farm, between helping out, doing
Meat
chores,
chickens.
yeah, learning how
Weeding.
to learning how to collect eggs. The first time he collected eggs, he's just throwing them into the basket, and we lost probably 7 or 8 eggs. Like, I'm like, you have to be gentle, dude. Like, what are you doing? But he got it together, and by the end of his month staying here with us, you didn't have to say how to do something. Just say, Jay, eggs, and he was on it. We had a broody hen here at that time too, and if you've never seen a broody hen, they get very loud and aggressive when you try to go into their nesting box. And he didn't know how to handle that in the beginning. He would collect all the eggs other than that one box, and would call me Uncle Kevin, and so I would have to go and help him. But after a while, he would get. We had one of this. What is it?
Digging glove.
Yeah,
with
digging
the
glove with
plastic.
like little plastic claws on it. So I don't know why he chose that as what he would use to protect him in case the hen would come and peck at him while he was collecting eggs from under her.
Then we also planted a pumpkin patch. Most pumpkins take about 95 to 120 days, so we wanted to have pumpkins ready for Labor Day weekend here on the farm. So that was time to plant, and so we planted 22 varieties of pumpkins, between a 100-pound pumpkin to a tiny bitty pumpkin. So it was planted 220 mounds of pumpkins last year. So it was not last year. That was this year.
That was, yeah.
That was this year, but it was a big weight off our shoulders. That kind of almost finalized the major. That was the last major planting that we did of the season. Those pumpkins, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the last biggest planting of the season. After that, it was just every couple of weeks we would plant a patch of sunflowers. So.
And our neighbor next door has been a godsend also too, in cutting our pasture for us and baling up hay. And if we need some, we get hay from our own pasture to store in our barn for whenever we need it. But anytime that pasture is cut, it's such a beautiful sight to see it freshly cut, and then B, those giant hay bales just sitting out. It's very much a magical thing. And I always say, the longer that we live here and the more things we experience, it feels like such a magical place to be, and we definitely don't take a single experience here for granted.
So then, what was in July?
Roll into July, and we butchered our meat chicks.
When Kevin rolled up those sleeves. So we butchered 31 out of 35, wasn't it? 30 meat chickens. We butchered 20. Yeah, we butchered 20 at the first time, and other 11 we butchered like week or two later because they were a little bit smaller than the rest of them. But it was a good experience.
Yeah.
Oh, we acquired a chicken plucker in December.
Earlier in the year
So
sometime.
it was like Christmas sale that we got it, and oh my God, I'm so glad we did.
Because we plucked chickens by hand one time in like November or something. We had too many roosters, and so we outside. You can see your breath, and trying to keep the water hot so that you can get the feathers off easily, and then trying to pluck those birds by hand. And let me tell you,
Never again.
we found that plucker quickly after that. We also had our turkeys also too. We had some white-breasted. They always say it wrong.
I always broad-breasted white.
Broad-breasted white turkeys.
Yeah, we butchered 5 of them, and we still have 2, I believe, in the freezer. 2 or 3 in the freezer for our Thanksgiving this year. And it was just an experience just to see how well they're going to do here with us. And probably next year we have a lot of requests for turkeys, so we're definitely going to have some turkeys on the pastures next year.
Yeah.
We also offered pasture-raised chicken on the farm. We were unsure what community response is going to be on a pasture-raised chicken. What is demand for it, and what did we realize, Kevin?
It's high demand for sure.
Out of 20 chickens that we butchered, I think we sold 16 in the next day. It was.
Yeah, and we ended up, later on coming back and selling some of the ones that we had held back just for ourselves. We still got a chance to have some, and our nephew got a chance to eat one also too before he left, because he did a really good job while he was here by helping to move those chicken tractors, because we move our chickens twice a day, helping with refilling their water and all of that. He was really good. So Dragon wanted to make sure that he tasted the fruits of his labor before he went back to Florida.
It wasn't the one that he kissed.
Yes, he said he wanted to make sure it wasn't the one he kissed. We had a coyote issue that emerged in July.
Lost one of our chickens to coyote.
Yeah, we saw it happen also too when that chicken was taken.
Luckily, it hasn't happened since. So.
And Trinity, if you've been to the farm and you've seen Trinity, and you see what a city gal she is, we have video of her chasing that coyote off. At one point also too, she was able to go out there and push it back into the woods when it came into the pasture.
It's quite interesting to see. Trinity is a bull terrier, and like Kevin said, she's been a city gal for all of her life. House dog, but believe it or not, what nature built her for, she's definitely there, and she chased out the groundhog a couple times, and so it's great to see her, stepping in and taking care of the business. So.
Yeah. July also became a big harvest month for us.
We started harvesting some of our produce, and we started offering harvest basket. We didn't have enough stuff to have a daily farm stand on our property, but we decided to have harvest basket where we would pack up a box of tomatoes, peppers, green beans, corn, cabbage. It would be probably a value of $35, maybe even $40, and we were selling those for $25 just to get people interested and see what interest is going to be. And again, interest was really great. People, it's kind of slow. At first, people were hesitant to see because it was our choice what we're going to put in. But after first couple of them got out, demand was definitely there as soon as people saw how much stuff we actually give people for $25.
Yeah.
And then, end of the month, what did you do, Kevin?
End of the month, Dragon ordered 100 meat chickens because of the first time around and how that process went. So we got in our batch of 100 that are in process right now of being processed and packaged up for sale here on the farm. We just butchered the first portion of those last week or a
This
couple
weekend,
days ago. Yeah,
this
this
weekend.
past weekend, and did pre-orders for those, and we have more this week to process and package up for sale. So that's been another venture that I think the community here is happy to have, and we're happy to provide it.
Then flowers started blooming, and we decided to do a flower bar, open up the farm for the first time for a large amount of people to come out and purchase flowers from us. We, in our community group, we asked people. Our original plan was to have you pick flower farm that where you would come and pick your own bouquets, but community response, people wanted both things. People wanted to come and get bouquets that are already pre-made, so we decided to open up the farm and have one Saturday morning, pre-make. How many bouquets?
I don't know. We make quite a bit.
50, 60 bouquets we pre-made, and then people and response was just amazing. Unfortunately, that week off, so that I want to say like Wednesday, we had major rainstorm, and all of our zinnias that were just ready to be picked just flopped down. It rained completely, flopped them over, so we were not able to use most of our zinnias, but we were still able to salvage the event and get some nice sunflower bouquets. We had sunflowers, gladiolas were in hand. What else?
We offer vegetables also too. We
Yes,
didn't advertise the veggies. So here in King George, there's a Saturday farmers market also too, and there were people who were coming, and they were like, "Oh, if we knew you guys had vegetables, we would have come here first to buy vegetables." But the thought again just kind of didn't cross our mind because we were so narrow focused on the flowers. We had the mixed flower bouquets, we had sunflower bouquets, the gladiolas, and this was our big coming out party. Like really here in the community, that was the first time that we opened up a big market, and we tried to make sure that it felt as spacious as possible, because we did different stations in different places. We had potted plants, we had startup plants with our coleus, we had tomatoes and peppers and cabbage, and then
section of bunnies.
we had bunnies out for the kids to go over and look at and play with. We had bottled water and sodas for sale. We had all of the different varieties of flowers that you can either buy the bunch or you could buy them in a vase. So it was definitely something that we poured our heart into, because Dragon and I don't do anything halfway, and whatever we do, we're very passionate about it. We always want people to get a great value also too from the services
To feel
and the products
appreciated,
we're
they're
offering.
getting, yeah, like I said, they're getting great value for the money that they're spending, and we always, our prices definitely reflected that. We wanted to make sure that everybody feels that they get well more than what they pay for. So
Yeah. And that
how
kind of
was it?
opened the floodgates.
In a good way.
Yeah,
In a good way. Response was amazing for that day. We had probably 50, 60 people show up at the farm that we did not expect. And like I said earlier, we made 50 or 60 bouquets, and I was expected everybody's going to buy one bouquet and go on. But first, probably 5 to 10 customers, everybody comes up. We had 3 different versions of it. We had a small sunflower bouquets, we had a small mixed flower bouquet, and we had a big mixed flower bouquet, a big sunflower.
We had the
Oh,
gladiolas also
gladiolas,
too by themselves. Yeah.
And people were buying one of each. So I was like, wow, this is not gonna last long. And sure enough, we sold out in less than an hour and a half. So
Yeah.
it was
And the night before, we're planning. We're cutting flowers and we're packaging up stuff. And I said to Dragon, I said, just to be clear, we're not running out and cutting fresh bouquets for anybody when these things run out already. And he's like, no, no, I don't want to do that. And what do? Grab the shears and run out and cut more bouquets.
Because I felt bad, like I said, we felt bad because we didn't expect that people were going to buy 2-3 bouquets at a time. So we felt bad for people that came in. We had it open. Originally, we were going to have it open from 11 to 2, but we ended up only doing for 2 hours, from 11 to 1. And like I said, last hours we ended up not having enough flowers, so I felt bad for people that are coming in last hour, and we ended up just cutting the sunflowers right on the spot for them. So.
And the word of mouth, from everybody was pushing people here. Someone came and said that she was outside doing yard work and had taken a break and was on Facebook, and her friend had posted a picture of the bouquet she had just gotten. So she stopped her yard work and came right over, and she was one of the ones we went out and cut a fresh bouquet for because we had sold out of everything.
How can you say no to that?
Yeah.
I mean, somebody just stopped their yard work and came over to support you. Of course, you're going to take care of them.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
And then August rolled in. We started getting our watermelons.
And that was a journey.
for 2 weeks, we would cut it. Every other day, we would go into a watermelon field and we get a one. Is it ripe yet? Is it ripe yet? No. We kept opening. It was getting closer, and finally we got a nice ripe watermelon.
Today's the day. This is our big Mama Jamma. This is our Jubilee, one of the largest ones we've had. We've constantly said, my bet has always been that it was going to be a 40-pound watermelon. Scale said, oh, can't really read it, 37 on the dot. You guys know our watermelon journey.
It's popping, so they're usually a good sign. It pops by itself.
Can't show this to my dad. He's asked for no more watermelon pictures unless a watermelon was attached.
Oh my God!
Oh, that looks pretty good.
This looks good. We have some guests here. This looks fantastic.
Oh, it smells good. That's a good sign. When the breeze brings you the sugar.
I'm a mom.
There's napkin right there.
Don't be shy.
Thank you.
And verdict.
Very good.
We need honest feedback, no?
That's good.
Come on,
no,
Dragon.
that's perfect. It's like perfectly right.
Here we go.
Kevin?
Sweet.
How is it? Is that the one?
Very good.
That's the one. Got a winner!
40 pounds of goodness right there. We did it.
Finally!
And we got to share it. We are blessed. Thank you.
It's good.
All right. Cheers to the next one.
Summertime watermelon.
That felt amazing, definitely, because we planted 150 mounds of watermelon on 2 plants on each mound, so 300 plants of watermelon. 3 varieties. We planted Sugar Baby, Crimson Sweet, and Jubilee variety. We wanted to have variety for the customers. Sugar Baby grows up to 12 pounds. Crimson is about 20 pounds, and Jubilee grows close to 40 pounds. So we wanted to have size varieties that our customer would like. So how did that go?
Biggest hit all year.
Yes, definitely biggest hit. Watermelon was huge hit for us, and we decided to actually start a farm stand with watermelon.
Yeah. So the farm stand came shortly after that. Based on the response from the flower bar event that we had the end of
Chickens,
the end of
flower
July.
bar, and then watermelon. We decided to actually have a farm stand open daily, and be honest with people, we did not plant enough stuff to support such a farm stand, but we're going to offer what we have, and people were really grateful for it. So.
Yeah, it was time to graduate beyond the harvest baskets because we at least had things coming in a little more regularly, even though like our green beans that everybody loved. We only had 1 row of those, and
one 50-foot row.
Yeah.
It wasn't a small row, it was a 50-foot row of beans.
But you pick on those, and it takes a couple days before they can replenish. But they were in high demand, and if the basket is full and a customer comes and dumps the entire basket into their bag,
Yeah.
there's nothing you can do about it.
We had quite a few situations like that where we would harvest, I don't know, 25, 30 pounds of tomatoes. So we were like, oh, we just post a picture on our community group. Oh, we have tomatoes, and customer comes in, I'll take all of your tomatoes, and it's a blessing and a curse. It's great that people are so supportive, but we kind of feel bad. We just posted a picture that we have tomatoes available, and everybody else that comes in, there's no tomatoes available. So it was quite interesting. So
Yeah.
But yeah, in August we had a farm stand open pretty much every day, minus even Sundays. We did start.
Yeah, I think in Sundays we had it open
Sundays,
too,
yeah.
7 days a week there in the beginning.
7 days a week. We had it open daily from 10 to 5 p.m. But even if somebody would message us that they just left work, they want to stop by, buy some stuff from us, we will always just, come on down, we'll take care of you.
Yeah, and we still...
Unless we are not home, we always let people, just message us, most likely we'll take care of you.
Yeah, yeah, we always want people to know that they can reach us. It's just, we still have other responsibilities on the farm, and the farm stand might not be open, but we're still here. We're tending to animals. We're planting. We're doing all these other things. But we tell everybody to always reach out, send us a message, and say, I know that you guys are closed, but can you? And we will do what we can to always try to accommodate.
We took a truckload of watermelon back to Maryland to our old community, and that was another huge hit. We sold out in an hour there. We had, I think, 70 or 80 watermelons in our truck, and the response was just amazing. And we got yelled at why we didn't bring any other produce. We just didn't know what to expect, honestly, and it was just, again, another great success.
Yeah, especially those our neighbors in Maryland have known us a lot longer, and they've seen us, and a lot of them would buy our coleus plants from us in the neighborhood, and so they've seen our journey, and they've seen what we did with our landscape and our garden and our plants there in Maryland, and to transition out here. And we wanted to go back and make sure that we said, hey, remember us? But they were like, yeah, we do. Where you been?
Yeah, a lot of those folks that kind of follow us on Facebook and our YouTube and Instagram, so they've seen a post about watermelon and everything, and we finally took some over, and like I said, it was gone within an hour. So.
Yeah, so we definitely will be making sure that we add our old community to the list to do a mobile farm stand for them on a more regular rotating basis throughout the season. But also, too, at the beginning of August, as school was getting ready to start, because of the crush of love and support that we've received, we wanted to do something publicly to say thank you to everybody in King George. So we made a huge donation of flower bouquets and some of our watermelon to King George Elementary School. And we're just so happy that was so well received, and it was, for us, it was
first
just
day of school. That was done for first day.
Right as the teachers were getting ready to get back to school. It was just us wanting to give the biggest heartfelt thank you to some of the hardest working people in our community that we could think of, and we were just so happy to be able to do that. And that was just us saying thank you for welcoming us
to this community.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, what else did you do?
Let's see. We started harvesting pumpkins in August, which was a little early.
Way too pumpkins ripen them way too early. Squash bug pressure was on them, so they started ripening earlier than we expected. And towards the end of August, we pretty much harvested half of our pumpkins. We had pop-up babies too.
Yeah, we had more babies in August.
Kittens. What about kittens? They were.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the kitty babies. That was in August.
That was in
Let me
August.
check the show notes. Yes, the kittens were born on August 21st. How could I forget about that? My
We
precious
did not.
babies.
Unfortunately, we didn't realize that cats can get pregnant at 4 or 5 months old, and we had a stray male cat that wandered around our property and got one of our cats pregnant. So we had 3 beautiful babies
Yep.
that are now about a month old
Mhm.
now.
Yeah, yeah. So we have them, and then we had more rabbits born at the end of August. We acquired a broken doe. She's black and white. So that's, I hate using the term broken doe. I can make it sound like she's
Broken when it comes to color. That's what it's referred to. That has a black and white pattern on it.
Yeah. So we believe that we acquired her pregnant, and she had 3 babies. She had 2 all white,
And one black and
and
white.
1 black and white that has the same patterning as she does. And then another one of our does, our black doe that had the 17 babies, had another litter, and
10.
she had a litter of 10.
And then we divided bunnies between 2 of them. We gave broken doe. We gave 3 of her bunnies so they can raise them. Oh, we forgot to mention we started attending animal swaps.
Oh yeah.
So we started attending local animal swaps here locally, and some of the tractor supplies would host a monthly animal swap that allows local farmers to sell their animals, chickens, ducks, geese, goats, whatever the people bring. Other than, you can't bring cats and dogs, but you can definitely bring any livestock. And we kind of started to, it gave us opportunity to offload some of the rabbits or roosters, or so it was a great way to get another income to the property.
And the connections that we've made also to
Amazing.
meeting the
Other
people,
farmers.
other farmers that are doing similar things and raising similar types of livestock, making those connections, the people that we've met has been invaluable. And I would say also too that one of the biggest things has been just how nice farmers are, just like the farming community in general. Like everybody's so willing to help everybody. Like nobody's hoarding any secrets. If you need something, they're happy to help out, and that's been so refreshing and so good, especially being the new kid on the block in a lot of different circles. To have so many people open their arms and to welcome you in and say, "What do you need help with?" and to share their knowledge has been amazing.
Quite welcome, absolutely. And then last couple of weeks, what did we do last couple of weeks?
Last couple of weeks,
Watermelon phased out towards the end of August, and then with produce only. Like Kevin mentioned earlier, we harvested pumpkins. We started selling pumpkins, edible and decorative pumpkins, and the garden kind of started phasing out slowly. We had a really dry August that kind of sped up of garden phasing out, tomatoes and everything. Tomatoes got hit with blight, so they are pretty much almost done for the season. So everything is kind of starting to phase out, and we started preparing for our fall crops. We actually delayed planting because of lack of rain, and we finally got most of our fall stuff in, so we got that planted, and we just now waiting for watering actually as we speak because of lack of rain again, and we're waiting on those to be ready so we can offer it to our customers.
yeah. So we also got our sign, our farm sign,
that's
finally.
right, yes.
Finally came in. Everybody that comes is like, you guys need a sign. You need a sign. It's like, we know. Like this.
So now we have a roadside sign that is 5x8 and quite visible from the road. You
Yeah.
can't miss us now.
Yeah. So the sign is there. So make it a little bit easier for everybody who's coming to find us. So, but also too, we've had people who've stopped and made a U-turn because they've seen the sign and they've driven in to
Buy eggs,
Yeah.
buy stuff. So it's definitely been helping us out. So.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's what we did in 1 year. That was a busy year.
Yeah, a little bit.
That was a year in a nutshell. I know we get long-winded with these kind of stuff, but it was a busy year for us, and we definitely worked hard for it. So.
Yeah, yeah.
So what a year!
Yeah, what a year indeed. It's been an incredible ride. We have a lot more planned, but we're going to save that for part 2 of this video.
Because it's getting too long, and we don't want to bore you with any more stuff of this. And this time we're gonna come back and do a highs and lows of this season. What did we do well? What we didn't do well?
And what we have on our vision board.
And what's coming up for next year and years to come. So.
Yep. So definitely stay tuned. We'll get that video up right after this one and get a little bit more into the meat and potatoes of how we've grown over the year and how we hope to grow in the near future and beyond.
So thanks for watching, and come back and see us again.
Yep. And always remember, stay safe out there.
Thank you.